So this is clearly, I feel like this is completely gone too far. This rumor shouldn't have had any weight to it in the beginning. I mean, it's just a song. Like the internet, I feel like has just kind of swirled out of control, and it shouldn't even be taken this seriously.
Right. Nobody even calls Kim Kiki other than her family.
Yeah.
Like I've heard Chloe say that, but nobody calls her that.
Well,
so.
they all could be Kiki with their names being starting with K's. But I will say, if it's something that's bothering Kanye and they have a relationship as celebrities, or if they've even been in the same room together, like if it's gonna make him feel better, like just say no.
Right, but it seems to me it's so hypocritical of Kanye to do this, because he always name checks people. In his famous music video, he had a number of celebrities naked, including, you know, Kim and Taylor Swift, and he sung in that song, "Me and Taylor might still have sex," while he's with Kim Kardashian. So he is no stranger to calling out other celebrities and looking at them in a sexual way.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, he even addressed in the video, he said, I think he's acknowledging without verbally saying it, that yeah, I have done that before. He's saying, this is different. This is my wife, is kind of what he's saying. He's like, this is something that should not be on the table right here. I know there's jabs and that, but that's my wife. And look, I know we've addressed how mentally unstable he is, and he's acknowledged that with what he's been diagnosed with and how he needs to be on medication. But this seems very logical to me, what he's saying right here. And I think you could also read between the lines with maybe his intent with some of his recent actions and how he's been out there publicly reaching out and trying to make amends with Drake and talk about that. Because I think he was hoping Drake would come back and do what Drake hasn't done and speak on this. But then ultimately, I maybe wonder if that's why Kanye's out there saying, I'm moving back to Chicago without consulting with his wife. Maybe there's troubles at home with a developed insecurity.
Speculation.
Maybe he's
you heard it from Jordan first.
But also, if you look at his Instagram page, Kanye's Instagram page, there's also a picture of Beyonce and Jay-Z, and he said family on that. So he's trying to, like he also said to Drake and Nick Cannon, who he addressed in that video too, for mentioning his wife. He said, we can hash this all out. We can sit there and talk about all this if you want to. So he's not exploding. He's not going crazy. He's saying, guys, let's stop doing this.
I think it's really good for both of their careers. A little beef is always good. You know, people are interested.
I'm surprised Jordan didn't say that. He's always the conspiracy theory when it comes to celebrities.
I'm just really rooting for Kanye to make this one work.
100%.
Dax has said he's okay with it, though. He said, you know, for people who are diabetic, their significant other still eats dessert in front of them. Does he have a point?
And go ahead.
Oh, I think it's selfish. I think it's selfish. I think it's playing with fire. I know people have all these other scenarios, like going out to dinner and someone having a drink but someone not. I just feel like it's detrimental, meaning like I can just go and do this someplace else. Like it doesn't have to dangle it in front of you.
True.
I think it's different because it wasn't marijuana that like sent him spinning over the edge. You know, he's been super open about his drug use, and he said specifically that if she were to do cocaine in front of him, which she mentioned, I think, wanting to try before she dies. She wants to try cocaine. And he was like, that would not be okay. So I think he's setting his own boundaries, and they clearly have a really open discussion. I listen to his podcast, and I feel like they go to therapy, they talk about it, they are very open with each other. I don't think that it's just her being like, I don't care about you. You know, he himself has said he wants people to try ecstasy and mushrooms before they die. Like, he knows his own limits, and he just knows he has to stay away from it. And
see,
I think she's respecting
that's where I take issue with it, because I have friends, and everybody probably knows people who battle with sobriety. Nobody quite knows their limits when it comes to that is the thing. I think it's a very dicey thing, and I think anytime it's within reach, it's potentially dangerous. And I am of the opinion, with not having any medical background in this, that out of sight is the best way to keep it out of mind. And I just think I tend to agree with Felicia on this one, that I just don't know what the payoff there is. Like, there's so many other places to do it. Does it need to be in front of that significant other?
Yeah.
It's kind of my take.
I like what you said, though, like his own boundaries, his own, like we can't decide for him. Like he has to decide for himself.